Sweet. Just in time. We're live and my laundry awful sound. Love it. Sup, y'all? Welcome to Original Gamers Podcast. I am your host, Patrick Ryan, otherwise known as Huge Cow Patty or HCP for short. And I'm joined today by Mr. Joel Watt.
Hello, friends.
Tonight, we're supposed to talk about DuckTales.
Woo!
Picked the game. Yes. The guy who picked the game, Mr. Nolan Brown, unfortunately cannot be here. He is having technical problems. That boy needs to get a new microphone, new PC, like a new laptop, and it sounds like he's had nothing but trouble with the camera and the microphone, and for all I know his keyboard doesn't work. I had no idea. So something else, we really should have figured that out before. Well, anyway, tell you what, Joel, you tell us how you been. Listening. And
yeah, I'm going to talk for a bit.
We might talk about for the next little bit.
Right? All right, so I've been pretty good. Sorry, I missed the last episode. We haven't done this in a couple weeks, have we?
Yeah, it's been. Well, see, we had Memorial Day for everybody in the U.S. We had Memorial Day last Monday, and then no one was available the Monday before that, so we just didn't do it.
Yeah. Well, no, I was sleeping right here is what it was. So it's not that I wasn't available. I just was not awake. Anyway, yeah, so I've been pretty good. Been really busy. We're ramping up for VBS. So, you know, things are happening. A lot of things are happening very quickly right now. And so work is busy, and yeah, I don't know. I put down my Switch like 2 weeks ago, and I just barely picked it up the other day, like finally, and so finally got back into Breath of the Wild and trying to make progress in that game. I realized that what I was doing was just not progress. So yeah.
What were you doing?
I was trying to complete the main story quest without really doing very many shrines. And that doesn't work well, because like the best way to play that game is to complete as many shrines as you can so you can get the Master Sword as quickly as you can, and then do the main story. and you know, along the way, like completing more shrines so you can have your full health and stamina. So, or well, you can't have full of both, but
at least not with the base game. I've heard some theories about the DLC maybe adding enough shrines that you'll be able to get that last, whichever one you didn't.
Yeah, that would be nice.
When you didn't max out.
Yeah, but I mean, the game does offer
season pass.
Yeah, season pass. It's only $20. Like, totally worth it. Yeah.
That new the first bit should be coming out soon.
Yeah. Yeah, should be.
I feel like they said summer. I would imagine, because E3 is coming up here real soon, so surely during that. At least I hope. I know they're going to be real busy with ARMS and Splatoon 2 talk. And that was the Mario Odyssey. I'm sure we'll.
Super Mario Odyssey, yeah. There's probably just going to be another announcement for that game, since it won't be out till December. So
yeah, I'm so looking forward to that. I hope I get done with Zelda.
Yeah, right.
Like you, I haven't been able to play it. I'm still playing it, but I haven't. We're near to a point where I'm like, I'm done with this, and I can walk away and be fine. Like, I've got how many games, and I don't know why. I only play one of them. I got Mario Kart. I played it once. Here at CrossForge Gaming, we have the Mario Kart tournament, and I able to figure out, like, I was under the impression, the way that I set it up, that no human players on there, that you'd be able to get in there and race against some computer players, and it would just give you a rank, and that would be fine. Work like that. If you don't have at least one other human, it lets you do anything with the tournament. And since our group, in fact, I'm fairly certain that within the CrossForge gaming community, those of us with a Switch are you, me, and Anna.
Yeah.
So we've got a max reach of 3 people. So
good job, Nintendo. That's supply and demand.
Awesome. So yeah, so that's no, I haven't played it. I've got, and I know that they released a patch that was supposed to fix a lot of the problems that game. I haven't booted it back up since then, so I don't know if those problems are actually fixed, or I assume they are, but I
only loaded the game to install the patch. I mean, I put 15 hours into it at least. I've gotten gold trophy 3 stars on all the races up to mirror on all the DLC, but I haven't started 200cc yet, because that is, it's like another tier and a half above mirror. Like, it is so
it's like there's the jump from 50 to 100, and then 100 to 150, and those seem like they're even jumps, and then you go from 150 to 200, and it's somewhere.
Well, there's even a jump from 150 to mirror, because you have to flip everything around in your mind.
Yeah,
and AI I think does get a little smarter in mirror, but then when it jumps from mirror to 200, it's like beyond like a normal, like it's a spike in difficulty. It's not like a normal, like, you know, gradual rise. It jumps like,
right. And unfortunately, CC was something they kind of tacked on after they were already finished with everything. None of the tracks are designed. Not even the F-Zero tracks are designed for this,
because they scaled down the F-Zero tracks to fit in Mario Kart. And and the best part is when you watch the AI totally screw up in 200cc. It's like, because like they don't know how to race at 200 either.
Right. It's very satisfying. What's crazy though, Baby Park, 200cc, none but mushrooms.
Man, I don't know about nothing but mushrooms, but I've definitely gone online and set the rules to frantic. 200cc Baby Park, and like it feels like you make no progress sometimes for like 10 seconds,
right?
Which is a long time in that race.
Yeah, it is. Let's see. What have I been doing? To Memphis on Saturday. It's okay. Let me back up. It's not even that I hate that drive. I just hate driving for 16 hours no matter where I'm going. It doesn't matter. But the nice thing about this drive is halfway through it, I wind up, and I got to eat some good food, because even though I don't like being in Memphis, the food is good. So there's always that. Why are you smiling at me? You're real big. And she's not going to talk. So I have no idea. I can't read your mind. I'm supposed to be able to. Yeah. Women think that. It's never happened.
No, in the history of mankind, well, there's only one person who's ever been able to read a woman's mind, and his name was Jesus.
He didn't even get married, so
no,
a lot of good that did.
Because he knew better. No.
Anyway, so there was that. Because Caspian's down here, Patty Plays Pathetically live streams to to do them over the summer. I'm sure I will do a few over the summer, especially with Caspian. I actually would really love to get him and I streaming us playing Minecraft because he is, and I don't know about like in the Minecraft, but as far as I'm concerned, he's a Minecraft wizard, and I'm like, where are the instructions? You dump the Legos out of the box, and the first thing he does is start putting things together, and I'm reading the book. The problem is Minecraft doesn't have one of those. So, okay, I'm sure they do, but I could go strategy guides, $30 or whatever for, but I'm not going to do it. So I think it'd be funny to that and just watch him.
What platform would you be playing on?
Xbox One. I have it on PC also, but
yeah, see, I've had it on PC.
Would have to be.
And I really like it on PC because you actually draw out the shapes of the tools and objects you're building, instead of just throwing it into a crafter and pop, you get an item. Like, you actually have to draw it out, like use your imagination. And now some of
so go ahead.
Well, like, okay, so to make a pickaxe, you need 3 stone and 2 sticks, right? And so you put the 3 stone in the top. It's a 3x3 crafting grid. So you put the 3 stone in the top, and you put the 2 sticks in the middle, and bam, out pops. Or then you click craft, and then you got your pickaxe, because you kind of like drew the shape of the pickaxe with your materials. You understand?
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, and that's what I really like about Minecraft, is using your imagination to build your objects and tools and weapons and armor. And you don't get that on the console version, because it's, I mean, you can try that, but it's tedious. And so they reworked it so that way, you just kind of throw your ingredients in the crafting square and out pops the item. And
well, and even see, he likes playing in creative mode so that everything's just I don't know that I've ever watched him play the what do you call the other mode?
It's adventure mode.
Venture mode, yeah. I don't know that I've ever seen him do that, because he likes building buildings, blowing them up. That's his thing. So
hey, there's nothing wrong with that. As long as it builds your creativity.
Right. Of course, I don't know about the PC version, because he usually plays on Xbox, because like me, he prefers a controller over a mouse and keyboard. But Xbox One, once you get so many cubes and make it blow up, the Xbox kind of like, what are you doing? Like an old man trying to render all this stuff. Maybe the PC.
Yeah. You can crash the game on PC if you have too many explosions, and it's fun. I've done it.
And there's a Switch version.
Yeah, there is.
Which the only reason that I would be interested in that at all is because of the Mario pack.
Yeah.
And imagine the Switch running it. I guess it runs it fine enough to play it.
Yeah. But I got the Wii U version because I really thought that they would implement the touchscreen, and they didn't. And I was very disappointed.
Oh, that's dumb.
Yeah. I mean, you can... I don't know. There are some touchscreen controls because, like, Nintendo says you have to use them. But they're very minimal, and it's not like they adapted the PC controls as far as like drawing your items to craft. Like, they didn't do that. And it's basically just like the other console versions. And so I would imagine the Switch version would be exactly the same. There are touchscreen controls if you want to, but it's better just to use the controller.
Yeah. So that's been my life. I started editing the next Patty Plays Pathetically video, which is actually for the game we're supposed to talk about tonight.
Yeah, I have.
So it's for DuckTales.
I have it on my NES, and I never dug it out or hooked up the console or anything.
Yeah. I will go ahead and I'm sure it would have got brought up if we were actually talking about the game, which we'll talk about next time we can get all of us together. But I'm playing it through, or I played it through the Disney. What is that called? Disney Afternoon Collection.
On Steam
But
or
with
whatever.
with it's got Tales
So it'd be like,
and
yeah,
Rescue Rangers. Yeah, all those Capcom
yeah.
Disney NES games. So like, which has all the Rare games that Rare still has license to release. So pretty much all their stuff except for the Donkey Kongs and I think pretty much everything else up to the point that they were at is on this on Rare Replay. Anyway, the 2D games that are on Rare Replay rewind function that if you mess up you can play it all over again. You can just rewind the game to I'm gonna say on that game the rewind is infinite. There's no limit. I need to tell it not to. Yeah, like there's no limit to how far you could go back, which actually in DuckTales, because the Disney Afternoon Collection has this feature in it too. And I got hit, I would just rewind because I was like, no, I want all my hearts or whatever I think it's hearts in DuckTales. I can't remember now.
Yeah.
But that's what I was doing. But you can do that in Rare Replay, and I got while I was editing because I was doing a lot of when you edit video, you watch a lot of the same thing over and over and over again. I wondered if you could play through the entire game using the rewind function through it, and then rewind all the way back to the beginning, and then play that in your video editor so that the game is happening forward, but everything that you are doing and saying is happening in reverse. How trippy that would be. It'd be really weird.
Oh man. That's
These are the
crazy.
kinds of things that run through my mind while I'm not mindlessly, but you watch the same clip over and over and over again and you start thinking of weird stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know if there's a limit to how far back you can rewind, but I found myself doing that a lot because, like I said, I never played DuckTales before, and it's an NES game. They're not bad. It's certainly not a bad controls, but they're also not that you expect from a game today or a Nintendo game, because Nintendo games have always felt. And the thing that which if you've played or what's the Donkey Kong that's on Wii U?
Tropical Freeze.
Cranky Kong's got that. Then that's where those pogo things came from was DuckTales. But in this game, I don't remember how you do it in Shovel Knight or Donkey Kong, but in this game it was you had to hit a button and you also had to hit down on the D-pad and it on an Xbox 360 controller, and the D-pad on that thing's awful. So I'm using the analog stick. And so I felt like I wasn't always getting the input right. And so I jump and unlike, well, I guess this is true in Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, killing baddies as long as they something on their helmet is the same as it is in Mario Brothers. You just jump on them and it hurts them. In DuckTales, jumping on them without having the cane extended below you will hurt you. So you have to hit them with the cane. There's so many times I'd jump and I'd think, all right, I'm going to get this guy, and I wouldn't get his. So I'd rewind it because I was irritated and I'd do it again. And basically, so I'm about halfway through editing this. It's going to be a lot of get hit, exasperated noise, and rewinding the game and doing it again. So hopefully that'll be for y'all.
Well, I wish I had been able to tell you this beforehand, but you know the DuckTales engine is based on like the Mega Man engine. So like yeah, so that's why you can't jump on enemies. Like you have to have your weapon out.
Ah.
And so if you're used to Mega Man physics, like Scrooge McDuck would jump very similar to how Mega Man jumps. And then there's like the pogoing, and you know they took away his Buster and added the cane. So
Right. I do level, I'm hitting all the buttons trying to figure out what they do, and I remember saying to myself when I figured out how to make him jump, I was like, well, he bricks like Mega Man would. So that makes sense.
There you go. Yeah.
It's like
So,
the world that they live in has 5 times the gravity that
yeah.
is or something.
I made this terrible pun on accident when I Let's Played Mega Man, but I was like, man, he drops like a rock, man, because he's Rock Man.
Oh,
Like it just came out of my mouth, and
Ew.
then I was like, that was a terrible pun. Roll with it.
yeah, just do it. The great thing about puns is they're supposed to be bad.
Yes.
Like
There is no
my
such thing
wife
as a good
will
pun.
tell a pun and I'll boo her, and she'll be like, why don't you like my puns? And I'm like, no, they're supposed to be bad. If you get
Yeah.
a boo from a pun, isn't that a good thing?
Right, well, you're supposed to cringe a little bit.
I'm like,
That's-
oh,
But one of the older
I
pastors
can't believe
on
you said
staff
that.
tells puns all the time, and I usually just kind of put my head in my hands as I giggle, just like that was terrible. That was terrible. Because I love puns. I love making puns. I love hearing puns. I love reading puns. But goodness gracious, some of them are pretty awful.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah. There's no such thing as a good pun. Just remember that.
Since this retro, I feel like this is relevant. Have you heard about the changes to Nintendo's Switch, the Switch's online service that they just announced?
Yeah, well, they're finally going to be implementing the paid service pretty soon here.
Yeah. So, well, I don't
Like
think they're actually
October.
gonna start charging for it until I want to say their website now says 2018, when they're actually
Oh.
gonna start collecting the fee.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, like the free portion is gonna start soon, but it sounds like I haven't watched the Nintendo Direct or whatever it was. I'm getting this from secondhand from other YouTubers. What I'm hearing is that they've changed. So when they announced the online service, I guess it was during the Switch reveal. And they said, you're gonna get a classic game like an NES or an SNES game, but like you would on PSN or Xbox Live. PSN and Xbox Live, as long as you're paying your subscription fee, you get to keep that game. And it was sounding an awful lot like on the Switch, that game was going to be active for a month, and then if you wanted to continue having it, you were going to have to go. It sounds like they've reversed that decision, and now the online service is going to come with a sort of Netflix of sort of like what Microsoft is doing with the Game Pass on the Xbox One. So, like they said, that they had someone had a screen grab from the video, and it had Mario 3.
Balloon Fight.
I
And
don't
Dr.
remember
Mario.
what they were. They weren't. Yeah, that's it. And it sounds like now these are just gonna, as long as you have your subscription, these like your Netflix subscription, these games are just gonna be available.
Yeah.
Instead of whatever that silliness was.
Yeah, because on
trying to pass
Nintendo's
off on.
website, like that's all I'm seeing is you'll get a classic game selection, and then it's
Mhm.
like Super Mario Brothers 3, Balloon Fight, and Dr. Mario, and it doesn't say anything about as long as you keep your subscription, or it doesn't say these will be demos and you have to buy them at the end of the month if you want to keep them. It doesn't say anything. It just says you'll have access to classic game selection, and
What if it's just you can stare at this picture as long as you're paying. You get to play anything. That would be a Nintendo thing to do.
Yeah.
So
Look, if I wanna watch someone else play a game, I'll go to YouTube.
yes, but if you want to watch someone else play a Nintendo game, you have to go to YouTube and find somebody willing to put up with their shared ad revenue thing,
Yeah.
or whatever it is they have. Actually, that reminds me, the DuckTales live stream copyright strike.
From whom?
Okay. I don't remember who. I'd have to go look it up, and I'm not going to try and on this laptop because it's already struggling to do what I'm asking it to do right now. If you have,
Yeah, I'm trying to log in
you
right
could go
now.
look. But I was, I was like, oh, okay, it's probably the DuckTales theme. That makes sense. So I go in and look, and it's not. It's a portion of the video that doesn't have the DuckTales theme in it, and it's not the Moon theme, which I thought if it's not the DuckTales theme, it's the Moon theme, because that's what the popular songs are.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. I was
the
like,
best one.
what's weird? Like, who in the world? What? And I'm not sure if it was Capcom or Disney. And and on our YouTube channel's life, I didn't feel like the strike on the channel was worth fighting it. So I was just like, yeah, whatever. Whoever, if they want it, they can have it. But it was weird. I was not expecting that. You know, I get we got a copyright strike on when I streamed Mario Kart. That I expected. Nintendo, they're gonna do that. But do you see who it was and what it was for yet?
I see that it's got one, but I don't see. Okay, hold on. No, it is the Moon.
Oh, okay.
Apra CS. I have no idea what that means.
Got me.
Yeah, a lot of people are asking, who's Apra CS?
Yeah. So yeah, there was that, but that's
Australasian Performing Right Association.
Okay.
And the CS is Copyright Collection Society. What?
For copyright collection. Sounds like a group that exists to copyright strike YouTube.
Okay, it's a copyright collective representing New Zealand and Australian composers, lyricists, and music publishers. The association's head office is located in Sydney, Australia, with branch offices in Auckland, Melbourne, Brisbane, Adelaide, and Perth. APRA is a member of the International Confederation of Societies of Authors and Composers. Right. So someone in Australia believes that they own the rights to the Moon
theme
music.
I would have thought some Japanese guy that worked at Capcom would own that, or Disney.
Yeah, right.
Had some sort of deal where they own everything associated with the game, whether it was originally part of that property or not. Weird. Yeah. That's neither here nor there. That Disney Afternoon collection though is it's pretty good. It's on Steam and Xbox, right? So I know it's not on Switch, which was a shame.
No, it's not, because those games were originally on a Nintendo console. It would make sense for them to be on Switch. But...
Well, why would we? Or even put them on the DS.
Yeah, right. The 3DS.
Like, come on.
Come on, guys. It's probably.
But then,
I don't know. I don't want to speculate.
Capcom has, any kind of weird relationship with Nintendo because they put that Street Fighter game on the Switch.
Yeah, that's.
And I can't imagine Disney being the kind of company that would money for some petty reason. I don't know. maybe it was already in development and they didn't, because the one thing about PC, PlayStation, and Xbox now anyway is that they're all running x86, and the Switch is on an ARM
Oh
system, and
yeah.
this game's not on iOS or Android, so it's not like it's just a port to thing. And I'm sure it's not running in Unity or Unreal. Unreal. It can't be running in Unreal, because if it did, Scrooge McDuck would have bulging muscles coming out of
Right?
everywhere. That's just
Oh
what
man.
characters
I remember
in
the
that
first
engine
time
look like.
speaking of Unreal Engine, the first time I played, I was at Arkham Asylum, and Commissioner Gordon shows up, and he's just this barrel-chested, big bicep dude. I'm like, what the heck is wrong with him? He's not supposed to be big like that. And then like the opening credits start rolling, and it says Unreal Engine. I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
And like, stand aside, Batman. I got this.
Yeah, right? Like, Jim Gordon is supposed to be just like an average dude. Like, he's not supposed to be big like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of superheroes, I know this has nothing to do with retro games. Have you seen Wonder Woman yet?
Yes, I did see Wonder Woman.
I haven't yet.
On Friday.
You like it?
I did like it. It was a little slow at first. Like, the middle is really good. Like after about, actually, when she finally leaves Themyscira, it starts getting good, and then it's good up until the final battle.
No.
So, like, the final battle, it drags on, and yeah, and so whatever. I'm gonna leave the rest of it alone.
Okay.
The middle part makes it a good movie. It's the beginning and end. It's like, come on, hurry up.
So, okay, then did you see the Lego Batman movie?
No, I never did see Lego Batman. So,
Oh, okay. Because I was going to ask you, so which is the better DC superhero movie, that or Wonder Woman?
oh, sorry.
Because having not seen Wonder Woman, I would say, well, if you're only counting beginning at Man of Steel forward, so like the new cinematic universe or whatever they're going to call it,
cinematic entertainment. No, it's just DC Entertainment Universe. Sorry.
Okay. Cinematic universe, and it just sound like Marvel.
Yeah.
On that, then I'd say Lego Batman right now.
But Lego
is the
Batman
best
isn't
DC.
part of that universe. It's part of the Lego universe. So
it's also true, which may have helped it, actually.
yeah, like Zack Snyder
But
didn't have any input on that movie. So, and I don't want to speak ill of Zack Snyder. Guy's had a rough time lately. So
yeah, and every movie of his that I've seen has been like, man, this get what he's trying to do here. Because he did 300, didn't he?
Did he?
I feel like 300 was him. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe I made that up. He had something to do with it. If he did, I really liked that one. But every other movie of his that I've seen, it's like, I get where you're going with it, but I don't think you quite. And then so he had that tragedy that happened in his life, and he stepped down from the entertainment universe or whatever they're calling it, and then like Joss Whedon is coming in.
Yeah, Joss Whedon is
to replace him.
Joss Whedon is just finishing up the movie. Like, principal filming and everything is done. Like, Joss Whedon is just there to like oversee it, really, to make sure that Zack Snyder's vision is completed. So,
well,
that's all.
I think I'm a little more, because I'm not. Joss Whedon is bad at what he does. I just don't fawning over him that like, yeah, Toy Story was great, and I haven't seen Firefly, so I can't speak to it. And every time somebody says, "Why haven't you seen Firefly?" I'm like, "Why would I sit and watch something that is just ultimately going to disappoint me because it's not finished?"
It's not a disappointment. It there is an end. It's the ending is not as good as it could be. It's sorry. I had an emotional experience the first time I watched Firefly, and almost every time now it just like ingrained in me. And so like the fact that you haven't seen Firefly is like saying somebody saying they haven't seen Star Wars. Like, come on, man. You have to see it.
I'm sure I will one day, but I haven't seen that. I don't like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I don't like okay. I movie more than the TV show, which I know is not the way Josh Whedon would. He doesn't like the movie, and he like has kind of a soft spot in his heart for it. I really, really, really liked the first Avengers movie. I felt like Age of Ultron was just the first Avengers with a different bad guy and in a different location. It was the same darn movie. Just and now, and I keep telling myself like I'll go see the big Marvel movies. So one of the Avengers or Civil War, and I'll be like, yeah, it was good, but to be honest with you, I could be done with this. But then Guardians of the Galaxy 2 comes out, and it's like, why aren't all these movies like this? This movie's awesome.
Right? Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 are the two best movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I love them.
They're great. And one of my favorite moment in any Marvel Cinematic Universe movie is when Thor walks into that pet store looking for a horse.
Yes.
Dude doesn't have a horse. So he asks him what he has, and I can't remember exactly what the pet store owner that says. He's something like, we have dogs and cats, and Thor looks at him. Those large enough to ride. Best moment in the cinematic universe. I loved it. It was awesome. That's when I was like, I've never heard of that. I didn't know Thor was a Marvel character, but I'm on board. Let's do this. I'm good. I can't wait for Ragnarok. That trailer was amazing.
Yeah, the trailer looks really good for Ragnarok. So I'm excited.
Yep. And this is why we're talking about Marvel, because I went and saw Guardians 2, and obviously Disney owns both it and Star Wars, so I was like, okay, there's going to be a Star Wars trailer.
Yeah.
Into episode 7 without having seen. I don't know how I managed to accomplish that, but I did it, and I went in completely blind, and I'm glad I did. I did the same thing for Rogue One. And then Guardians 2, and I'm like, oh, there's going to be a trailer. Episode 8, and sure enough, there was. And I was just like, I could sit here and like shove my fingers in my ears and close my eyes, and that's just ridiculous. So I wound up seeing it. But I'm excited for it. And I do think that they're going to continue this like side story thing, right? Because it's going to be every other year there's a numbered sequel, and then the years in between there's something else. Yeah, if Rogue One's any indication, I'm going to enjoy the side stories more than the numbered. To say the numbered movies are bad, just Rogue One was really freaking good. So
I don't think Rogue One was better than Episode 7. Because Force Awakens was everything I wanted in a Star Wars movie. And Rogue One, if you haven't seen it, spoilers, is a tragedy. And not that there's anything wrong with a tragedy. I love a good tragedy. But it's not your typical Star Wars movie. It's not everything I wanted in the Star Wars movie. And I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I like Rogue One. It's just not everything I wanted in a Star Wars movie. Whereas Force Awakens was. And so I will still go see the the anthology movies. You know, I've always wanted to see Han Solo just being a rogue, you know, swashbuckler, pirate, whatever you want to call him. I've always wanted to see Boba Fett like in his full like bounty hunter-ness, like because he goes out like a punk in Return of the Jedi, and he's got like 2 minutes of screen time in Empire Strikes Back, and like so
That's fascinating that this character that for the longest time was really just a dude that shows up to take Han place, and then he like gets pushed or trips or something into the pit.
Han is still
like,
blind.
why is everybody thinking?
Okay, Han is still blind, and Chewbacca is warning him that Boba Fett is right behind him. And he's going, Boba Fett, where? And he swings this spear looking for him, doesn't realize he hits him, activates his jetpack, and he flies off into the side of the barge and falls down the Sarlacc pit. That's how Boba Fett dies, like a punk. And
right.
Totally on accident.
So,
and
it's George Lucas.
And then he totally ruins his backstory in Attack of the Clones. Like, oh, he's just a clone.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, when he's
not so cool anymore if he's just a clone.
Another dude.
Yeah,
like all these other dudes that are here.
I liked his old backstory better, where he grew up as a slave and was basically Spartacus. Like, worked his way up the ranks and like took on this persona of the Mandalorian bounty hunter or Mandalorian warrior and became a bounty hunter. And yeah.
Yep.
Now, and then the Clone Wars. The Clone Wars cartoon ruins the Mandalorians even further because they're no longer this warrior race. They're so like passive, and they're like self-contained, and they're not like going out and like trying to destroy everybody. They're not about that anymore. And I'm just like, oh no, that's what made them cool, was that it was like this race of pirates. Like
Did Disney keep the part of the canon, or did they chuck them like
Disney got rid of all of the print that used to be considered canon, so and some of the cartoons. So basically, if it's a movie and if it's the Clone Wars cartoon, then it's legit. Everything else got thrown out.
Is the Christmas special still canon?
No, that's not one of the things I listed. Okay, the Christmas special, the droids cartoon, the Ewoks cartoon, the Ewok movies, none of those are canon.
Yeah. Okay. So I think one of the things that I enjoyed so much about Rogue One, yeah, it was a tragedy, but I've had a similar it in Halo. I have felt very similarly.
Heard you say this
about
before. Yeah.
Is that probably during the Halo episode that we did on this show. I feel like those universes are so much bigger than Halo Master Chief and Star Wars the Skywalkers. Mm-hmm. And Rogue One tells a story that there's Skywalkers in it because there's Darth Vader, and then the very end. I mean, like the whole plot is get the plans to a Skywalker.
Yeah.
Halo Each and ODST, Master Chief's around, but it's the story is about, and that's one of the reasons. Again, not that I don't like Master Chief, not that I don't like the Skywalkers, although a lot of them are whiny little babies out there. But it's just the world is just so much bigger than them, and I feel like Halo 4 and Halo 5 reined Halo back into just being about Master Chief, and Episode 7 continues this tradition that Star Wars wouldn't be Star Wars without Skywalkers, and I suppose make that argument because Darth Vader and Luke is there's such pieces to this puzzle. I like hearing other stories.
Yeah, I get it.
It's a long story. April was like, "How are you on Star Wars?"
Because we're just having a random podcast with you guys chatting right now. That's what's happening.
It's just right.
This is the random episode. We could rein it back into video games if we really wanted to.
We could. No, and actually, it's getting to be late here, so we should probably wrapping it up. So next time, Nolan, if you're out there listening to this in the internets, get a microphone. Like for you know what? I got a Rock Band microphone that I can mail you $5 and that'll work.
I mean,
it is USB. I'm sure it might.
I don't know how much he paid for his Turtle Beach headset, but I'm fairly certain I paid almost as much for my tiny little mixer and my microphone. And I never have a problem because it just plugs into the microphone jack. Like, yeah.
These I'm using a Turtle Beach. I like it. Sometimes I think back on how much I spent on it, however many years ago it was, and I'm like, I really could have.
You could have got a real microphone for that much.
Yeah, I really could have. And that and the somewhere around here starting to separate.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, come on, guys. Like that and Turtle Beach drivers are kind of. Now, I mean, the nice thing about them is that they work with that I have. Work with the Switch, probably not. Oh, well, I guess if it worked with my phone, do everything. I don't know if it works with my phone or not. Anyway, enough about that. Yeah.
Yeah, if it has an 1/8-inch plug, it'll work with your Switch and your phone and blah blah blah.
It has to be powered. It's a USB thing on it. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The Switch outputs a power through the USB port on the dock.
Oh, that's true. That's true. So, if I plugged it in there,
that's how you charge the controller.
So if I plug my Turtle Beach USB into the Switch dock, the Turtle Beach analog cable into my phone. It's a Nintendo. I don't know why you didn't just mic capabilities. This thing is
okay.
They do weird things.
I'm seeing a problem here though, because if you you plug your Turtle Beach into your phone, then the sound is still going to be playing through the Switch dock out of your TV and won't be coming through your headset.
That's true.
Now whoever you're playing with would be able to hear you clearly through the phone app. But yeah.
What I heard would be. Yeah. So anyway, that's going to do it for this random episode of Original Gamers Podcast. I promise eventually we're going to get everybody here. We're going to talk about DuckTales. We're going to have a nice big reunion. It's going to be fun. So here for that, make sure you follow us on Facebook, which you can find that at crossforgegaming.com, facebook.com/groups/crossforgegaming, and you know where our YouTube channel is because that's how you're hearing this. Unless you're listening to the audio only version, which is going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm going to get off my lazy rear end and get back on those things. So, Joel, where can we find you online?
Anywhere you can find me on the internet, you can find me under Obi-Watt Kenobi. It'd be Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. What is it? Nintendo. What's Nintendo service called?
They changed it now. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
It's not me. It's not Miiverse anymore.
Yeah, Nintendo Online and PSN, and just search for Obi-Wan Kenobi and you'll find me.
Yep. You can find me right here on CrossForge Gaming. That's really about it lately. I keep plugging my Twitter that I never use and all these other things that I never use. Just if you want more Patty, he plays pathetically. Watch me play DuckTales terribly. Watch me play Dark Souls. I've been getting a lot of compliments on that video, so apparently it was muy entertaining.
Dark Souls is always popular.
Yeah, and actually I saw the monthly humble bundle for next month has Dark Souls 2 in it.
Oh shoot.
Yep, there you go. Maybe I'm hooked. All right, that's gonna do it for us. Thanks for listening to this random episode of Original Gamers Podcast, and we will see you next time, whenever that is.
Be good, humans.